Good morning, gang. Happy Friday morning. Okay, we are now the end of the first business week since Potato Joe has resigned from the campaign. You could almost say he's resigned from the presidency. Not officially, but you can pretty much see just by the actions of the White House that Joe's just walking away, okay? I mean, he's anointed Kamala Harris as the de facto president. She's kind of doing the duties that need to be done. Personally, I don't think we'll make it to September with Joe sitting behind the Resolute desk. I have a feeling he will resign the presidency beforehand. Reason being, then Kamala can run as an incumbent, and it gives her at least a couple of months to show what she can do. And they think that's going to be a good thing. At least the progressive, far liberal, socialist left will go, look at the great things she's done, executive orders of God knows what, because, again, she's further left than basically anybody in Washington. They'll try to hide that. They'll portray her as a moderate. The thing is, are you prepared for November? November 5th. Okay, I'm going to give you this. The left, if you even bother to pay attention to what the media's trying to spin, I mean, this is crazy. Like I said yesterday, scrubbing the internet from all the idiotic comments she's made, saying she wasn't the border czar, taking titles away from her, hiding from her record, etc., etc. Facts are out there. Fake is out there too. I mean, I got a kick out of it. CNN put a poll up last night. This is just hilarious. CNN put a poll out yesterday that said Kamala Harris is up 10% over Donald Trump in a national vote. Okay. Contrary, on the other side, you see Rasmussen has a poll that Trump is up 7 points over Kamala Harris. 17% margin of error. In other words, neither one of those polls is worth a shit. Let's take a look at actual aggregates of polls here. I want you to take a look at this real quick. Okay. This is what's going on now. All these polls have been taken after Kamala Harris was the nominee and after people have had a chance to take a look at it. These were all polls that were aggregated yesterday. Okay. Now, if you take a look at it, I'm not worried about the national poll. Simple reason, we don't vote by popular vote. So the national poll means nothing to me. I don't care. You get, like Hillary Clinton, 3 million more votes than Donald Trump in California in 2016. Who cares? If you get one more, that's all that matters. Okay, so national polls don't mean shit. So we need to look at the state polls because that's how we elect people. And we all know that there's 6 swing states, okay? You got Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Those are the ones that are going to decide who wins. They can talk about New Hampshire, they can talk about Virginia, they can talk about North Carolina, okay? New Hampshire's 4 electoral votes. Either way it goes, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. Virginia's going to vote blue, North Carolina's going to vote red. They may be tight, but mark my words, neither one of those states is going to flip unless either one of the candidates does something super stupid. Okay. So we look at this poll, and now I'll finally put it up here. Okay. Arizona, Trump's up 6.3% on an average of 3 different polls. Okay. Georgia, Trump's up 4.8 on an average of 5 polls. Don't care about Maine, it'll go blue. Michigan, tight, but Trump's up 1.5 on an average of two polls. Not overly concerned. New Hampshire, like I said, I really don't care. Pennsylvania, Trump is up 3.6 on an average of 5 polls. Wisconsin is super tight at 0.7 on an average of 3 polls. That's all that matters. Nevada hasn't reported a poll since before Kamala Harris came in, so we really don't know how her coronation has made a difference yet. The only ones that I care about, or the ones I care about most, let's put it this way, are Pennsylvania and Georgia. Because if the rest of the country falls like it always does, if Trump wins Pennsylvania and Georgia, the election's over. He's over 270 electoral votes. Even if he lost Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin. He's got it, okay? So those are the big keys. And this is why you are hearing over and over and over again that Kamala Harris is looking at Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, to be her running mate, which I find really interesting. As I said before, Josh Shapiro's Jewish, and Kamala Harris is terrified of losing the Muslim vote that is very heavy in Detroit, so Michigan, and Minneapolis, so Minnesota. You know, lose those 2 states, it gets even worse for her. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. He seems to be emerging as a front runner, but I don't see it. Even though Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, is Jewish. But somebody explain to me why she never took his last name. Okay. Maybe she's that much of a feminist. I don't know. But what happens? What's going to happen the night of November 5th when ABC or Fox or the AP or whatever calls Pennsylvania for Trump, calls Georgia for Trump? If I can figure this out, you know damn well that the parties themselves can figure this out, that the media can figure this out, that the public's going to know this and go, oh crap, it's over. How many of you watched a couple of days ago the riots in Washington, D.C. at Union Station, where they took down the American flags and hoisted Palestinian flags? How Palestinians have a flag, I have no idea, because they've never been a country. Okay, so, great, doesn't matter. You can have Mickey Mouse on a flag. It doesn't make a difference. It's not important. Okay, or graffiti everywhere, all the damage and things. I laugh hysterically at the lack of action by the FBI. The park police stood and watched for the longest time until they were somewhat attacked, and then they arrested a couple of people who I believe have all been released already. Don't know if there was any charges filed against anybody. And then late in the afternoon, they revoked their permit to protest. Ooh, okay. Now, so let me ask this. Which one was more of an insurrection? January 6th or July 24th? Okay. Which one was violent? I don't remember any stories about January 6th attacking cops. There's video of that from 2 days ago. I don't remember any graffiti being painted all over the place. I don't remember anybody screaming death to America on January 6th, but those people are in jail. Just saying. Mike Johnson, our spineless Speaker of the House, this has got to stop, yada, yada, yada. Dude, this is Washington, D.C. This isn't a state. Guess who's in control of Washington, D.C.? Congress. Mike, you personally had the authorization to call in the National Guard and disperse these people. Don't tell everybody it's got to stop. You had the authorization to make it stop. You didn't do it. Chalk up another failure for Mike Johnson. Okay, this guy's got to go. Louisiana, he's up for re-election. Congressmen are every 2 years ago. Mike Johnson needs to be kicked out on his ass. Whoever is the other Republican running against him, gotta be better. Okay? Just saying. But are you ready for the aftermath of November 5th? If this is what the left is going to do when Netanyahu comes to speak at Congress, what do you think they're going to do when the people say Trump's giving an inauguration speech? Don't rest on your laurels and go, oh, I live in the suburbs, it won't get here. Oh, I live out in the country, won't get here. It's coming. Period. Especially if you're in, I don't know, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania. It's coming. The violence will come. The left is violent. They have proven that. The summer of love in 2020 proved that. 2 days ago, proved that. Kenosha proved that. Chaz and Chop proved that. If they don't get their way, they resort to violence. Now, the conservative side of the spectrum here doesn't. You didn't see violent protests after 2022. You didn't see revenge after Trump's assassination attempt. But you can only poke a bear so much. The conservative side is going to protect themselves. They are going to defend themselves. They are going to defend their neighborhoods, their towns, their cities, their state, and their country from radical communist leftism. Serious question. What are your plans when an angry mob comes marching down your street, ready to burn down houses? Hey, they've done it before. Dallas, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit. You can name all of it. When they try to burn down your home, your church, your place of business, your job, what are you going to do? How many Kyle Rittenhouses are there going to be in a little more than 3 months? Probably a lot. Use these next 3 months to do a serious, hard, in-depth look at your security. Your lighting. I'd say your cameras, but you better be monitoring those, okay? Which means if you've got cameras around the house or whatever, the night of November 5th, that app better be open on your phone, or you better be sitting in front of the computer screen with those cameras, or whatever, as states start getting called. And on November 6th and on November 7th, this is going to be the time to put your security plan in place. Because when the left loses, which inevitably they're going to, they are going to riot. Now, on the other side, there's a lot of people on the right that may do the same. And I'm not kidding here. That there's enough people that are going to be pissed off. I mean, understand this, as long as they can manipulate the polls, like I said, saying Kamala Harris was up 10%, okay? As long as they can manipulate the polls to make people believe it's close, that makes it easier to cheat. If the polls all say that Trump's up 6, 7, 8%, and then all of a sudden Kamala Harris gets 81 million votes, or however many this time they need, the public's not going to buy it. The conservatives aren't going to buy it. And that's when you're going to have groups of conservatives go nuts. Whether or not it's violent, I don't know. Lawfare obviously doesn't work when we have a crooked legal system. You know, doesn't do you a whole lot of good to sue when you get judges like the ones that Trump's been forced to stand in front of for the last couple of years that don't do anything. You really need to look at your security. Like I said, lighting, guard duty, cameras, weaponry, traps if need be. We've talked about those before. Coordinate with your like-minded neighbors. Even if they're not necessarily like-minded. Hey guys, I understand this election's going to be crazy and there's going to be some pissed off people. We need to have some sort of neighborhood watch for a couple of days afterwards, paying attention to the news and watching what goes on at night. Your home, your business, your church, your school probably depends on it. And it doesn't matter if you're in the city, the suburbs, or the country. Because once the city falls, and most of them already have, where do you think the gangs are going next? They're going out to the burbs, especially when you hear all the exit polling. And they come up and say, so-and-so won the metro vote. So-and-so won the suburban vote. Oh, the other side won the suburban vote? We need to go out there. We're not going to attack our own. We're going to attack the people that voted against us. And all those of us out in the country, okay, yeah, we know which way the rural area in basically every state goes, okay? You need to watch this. You need to be prepared. This should be a landslide win for Trump. Depending on the cheat, depending on if we have an election. But a landslide win for Trump means that far left, radical, leftist, Islam supporting, Muslim supporting, America hating, communist, globalist organization known as the Democrat Party is coming. A lot of people are going to be tested. Hopefully, you stay safe. But don't just hope for it. Don't just pray for it. Do that, of course. But remember this. God helps those who help themselves. Pinball out.